1v1 scene, getting you guys back on auto match, getting you guys familiar with the patch, and getting you guys trained up for what we have coming in 2018. Now, AE is already hinting at Operation Unthinkable and the Civil War, which he's doing. But thanks, Key Gaming, for the subscription. Alright, we're going to get into this game. I want to say 5 seconds, but it's probably going to be 20 seconds because of the relic timer. Oh, I am cheerfully mistaken. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our last game of Week 1, King of the Hill Season 2. And it's been a great day today. We have our final game, J for Jet playing as OKW on the north side of the newly revised Crossroads. And he's going to be playing up against a very feared opponent in this community, that is Paula. Now, Paula you may be familiar with if you've been around in Company of Heroes. He is quite a character. He can be an opinion divider, is how I'd like to call him. You're either for Paula or you're against Paula. I don't mind Paula, to be honest. He's one thing though, he's an excellent player, and it's going to be a very interesting game between him and J for Jet, who just really kind of wiped Von Ivan out of this week's event. We do have Paula there, has got the new recon support company, so some of these have got... are they playing the correct... I think they're playing the correct thing? I'll need to check. Is this the right patch? I hope so. DJ will be able to tell us, because I think he set the game up, so... so we'll find out. I am watching the chat, so Lijo, please do check that it's the December balance preview and just confirm it for me. But anyway, first engagement's coming in. Stern Pioneer is going to close down on the rifleman. Instant retreat from Paula, who seems like he doesn't want to lose any manpower in the start of the game. Not going to take a bad engagement. That can be pretty good if he's looking at just conserving all the manpower he has, trying to get as many units on the field quickly. Then actually early retreats can be pretty good for him, but also it's going to work in favor of J for Jet, who's also not really losing anything. It really comes down to Paula maintaining control of these territories whilst he is pulling these retreats off. Thanks, A. Now we have the double riflemen. They're going to be seeking the green cover, pushing down Stern Pioneers in negative cover on the main road. We see J for Jet already trying to get defensive positions up on the center VP, whilst just easily capping his side of the map with the Kubel. Paula's going to be massing his rifles together. You can tell he's wanting to get that house, but not really comfortable pushing it. I mean, even if he did push that house, 3 rifles, there's only, only 5 models shooting out of the windows here. If he picks this side, he's only got 1 window to deal with. That's what he's going for. And this should allow him to actually clear the models out of this building without taking much return damage. Yeah, Paula still hasn't lost... Oh, there we go, he just lost his first model there.
Supply half-track is in action. Standing by for setting of
J for Jet's going to be going for some early teching. Maybe he's looking to get that MG on the field as quick as possible, and to do that he'll need to upgrade this to either the battle group or the mechanized. And I think actually in the previous games we've seen, pretty much all OKW players have been going for the mechanized. You can see he's laying the medical supplies there from the Stern Pioneers, so that suggests he probably will go mechanized. Yeah, there we go. I think when you spot that, you realize that's going to be the strategy. So looks like he's going to be going for the Lukes here, which is a really good way of helping to deal with a rifleman at range, as long as obviously you don't get too close. Paula's going to go in for the M20. And a good M20 mine will absolutely destroy a Lukes. So if he is going to be going for that, I think it's a very interesting unit to bring out against OKW early.
you dopes, listen up.
This is one thing we saw in the last games. I mean, obviously I didn't cast the last game because we had playback error due to the full balance preview being picked. But J4Jet was very, very aggressive and very, very good at capping territory. Must be largely in part, of course, the Kubelwagen doing this, but a lot of territory control. Paula just isn't keeping up with this at all right now. I think he's trying to seek the retreat path for this unit. Incendiary grenade, look at that, right on the door, which means as soon as those models get out, they are still taking damage from the flames. Paula trying to get the retreat path of the Volksgrenadiers there. They will manage to get away quite easily. And now he's going to rely on the M20. I think this is bad. The Lux is already coming out. Lux versus M20. We don't see that mine laid already. This is going to be very, very difficult from Paula straight from the get-go.
Just got cut off.
There goes the Faust. That's the sign to Paula that some form of tier has gone up already, allowing for the Faust to be used by OKW. And I think that should be the point that he maybe worries that the Lux is on its way. Especially with all that map control, he's got to be predicting that that is on the cards.
Ready for orders.
5 minutes, 50 seconds. That's a very good time for the Lux to come out on the field. Especially in the hands of a capable player. Stem Pioneers here need a little bit of help against this Lieutenant, and the Lux is going to easily provide it. No chance of a Faust from the Lieutenant, so Lux has clear aim to force these units away. Paula trying to regain control of the left side. I say regain, I think he actually ever had control of it. And J4Jet being a little bit risky there, knowing the M20's on the field. Possibility that there may be a mine there. He was just happy to drive through it. And that's the kind of thing that Paul is going to be trying to predict from his opponent and trying to capitalize on. J4Jet is straight into the base. He wants to get the echelons down. They can't now get into the M20. This is a brutal start game. Paul is going to be intently focused on this right now, meaning that J4Jet has the opportunity to reclaim as much of the map as possible, maybe take advantage of the fact that Paul is going to be focused in the base. Nice incendiary grenade there. Yes, this is very nice. I mean, if you're going to give OKW that kind of resource lead in the beginning, you got to expect something like this is going to happen. And I think especially with Lieutenant Tech, Paul has kind of put himself in a bit of a box here. He's not going to have access to AT.
Germans are making a push.
You know, he's not got airborne, so he's not going to be able to drop it from the sky. I think maybe he's looking at the AA half-track as one of the ways that he's going to be able to get around this, or he could continue trying to look for M20 mines and try and catch that Lux off guard. J4Jet is definitely in a very dominant position right now.
We're losing a capture point. Weapon rack is now open.
Paul's got so much work to do with this unit. Kind of has to get himself into a position where he takes map control and then is laying the mines out of view of the front lines. So some good map control here might allow him to cap this. Instead, he's going to drive it straight in, takes a Faust from the Volksgrenadiers, and this Lux is going to chase it down. No chance of an anti-tank grenade from the Lieutenant. Ground attack is going to need to be used if the Lux wants to get it through the fog of war, but J4Jet's micro being tested here. He is going to ground attack, has to keep his eye on the rifleman. I think Paula may have just about found the way to survive that engagement. J4Jet still actively microing on the field though. So trying to get himself into a position where he's drawing Paula's units out on the left-hand side and putting some huge decaps in through the center, capping the VP, decapping the strategic point. There's a lot of gameplay, a lot of decapping gameplay going on from J4Jet. Paula just isn't able to keep up with it right now. We're probably looking at Paula a little bit out of practice as well. Should be able to make that anti-tank grenade hit. Don't know what he's going to be able to finish it up with though. Pioneers currently in the center. I don't think there's anything that Paula's going to be able to do against this for the moment. We have nothing in the build for Paula. He has gone in with Armor Company though, which means when we hit 8 CPs, we're probably going to expect to see that M10. Oh, there we go. We actually have double Zook Echelons. They're going to have a hard time pushing up against the Volks Grenadiers, especially at close range, but if he stops now and tries to take the shots, he may get it. It doesn't actually blow the Lukes up though, and he might lose the Echelon squad for his troubles trying to finish that off. That is really unfortunate. Wow. I think Paula made the right choice there. He actually made a very good move towards getting that down, but unfortunately, the game's abandoned mechanic comes in. J4Jet is going to try and focus on getting it up as quickly as possible. He does not want to lose that, especially. Yeah, good idea to get into the tank. And Paula not able to finish that off. Paula's going to be quite down on the resource count at the moment. Just hasn't had the same territory OKW has. We should start to see teching from J4Jet now, and we do see that the OKW headquarters is coming onto the field. So he's going to start making use of his advantage. No need for him to pick a commander either. Just based off the fact that he is in such a dominant position with what he's got already, he can afford to let Paula make the first move. One of the interesting things, I mean, Paula hasn't given any tell from his commander yet. I don't think he's brought anything out that is, unless J4Jet is an amazing eye for this game and notice Thompson's on the rear echelons. That'd be quite far-fetched if he actually spotted that and was looking out for it. But otherwise, it could be that the M10s do catch J4Jet by surprise, and Paula is one of those players that can take advantage of a situation like that. J4Jet is starting to get AT on the field, which is very sensible. It's 12 minutes in game, he doesn't have AT, and this is the time where, even with low resources, things can start happening.
The command vehicle has converted to a static building.
Don't have veterancy on this MG, so no chance of the incendiary yet. Kettenwerfer coming to join. Triple cap's just been negated by Paula, so no longer losing 1 VP a second, which is a terrible position to be in as allies anyway, let alone as on the back foot. Paula is. We still have nothing in the way of AT, really, from Paula. Now he's lost those echelons with the 2 bazookas. There really isn't anything that he's got until he hits 8 CP, and resources have been flying so high for J4Jet, they probably will enjoy a window of vehicle superiority that, quite frankly, Paula can't deal with. He hasn't been laying mines, so there isn't even really a chance to snare, and that pesky Lukes that he nearly took down earlier is back on the field with relatively no counter whatsoever. Okay, here comes the third tech structure, so we might see tier 4 go up on this side, which is kind of the OKW stale tradition for it to be there. If that's the case, you almost wonder if he was teching up for King Tiger, having the holy trinity of headquarters. This is such a great thing to see. I don't know if you guys know the backstory to this game. In the trailers that we showed, you know, for the GCS or even for this, you'll see that J4Jet, one of his first appearances in competitive play was coming up against Paula, where Paula was abusing the artillery bug. Well, I say bug, he was just abusing the artillery ability by the Brits. And it was a pretty good game up until this ability started being used, and then J4Jet, who was looking so fantastic, started to be on the back foot and eventually lost. So this is kind of his opportunity to really put one back to Paula and say, actually, do you know what? I am the better player. You can't use your abusive abilities anymore. That's why it's an interesting game. That's why it's a good pick for you, Ashtari, to pick J4Jet versus Paula as the last game for today. Paula is still 2 CP off of getting the M10s out. And when they do come out,
300 points remaining.
I love this. I love this tier 4 positioning. You never see this. This is so aggressive to actually cover the VP and the fuel. It's not the common placing for it, but it's absolutely the best place for it right now. It's just going to make things so difficult for Paula to get onto the right hand side, forcing him to go for the left VP where it's easiest for J4Jet to reinforce, bring his units to the left. He's put himself in a great map strategic position here. Look at that suppression. 3 squads suppressed by this 1 MG. Paula is only just retreating his 2 MGs that can't actually get the counter on it. Paula is really, really struggling just to get some VPs to stem the drain of VPs against him. You do realize as well, if J4Jet wins this game, he will be the only player today to take away a monetary prize. In any games he wins after this, it would just be an accumulation of £10 per game, so he would be our first official long-standing king. And after all that 3 headquarters and everything, he's decided to go for the Panzer IV. Which is kind of good in a way, because he's using the KW headquarters as an actual strategic emplacement. It would be irresponsible to get the King Tiger up, so I'm kind of glad to see him reach for a unit like this. It's going to help him in the field, support the Lukes. The Lukes is going to be able to continue doing the work it is doing already. Not have to worry too much about the M10 steamrolling. What a push though. He has absolutely no fear whatsoever. Paula is very close to 8 CP, so he does need to be careful here. He does need to focus on getting that Luke's repaired, but right for now, he is not worrying, not even worrying about potential of M20 mines, which would be catastrophic if he hit one. Hasn't actually got that mine sweeping here, so he's taking a bit of a risk. Looks like the Lukes is going to go down to anti-tank grenades. Going for the crush. It isn't enough, and this is a really bad situation. If we get anti-tank grenades here, then we see the M10 is on the field. I think we might have just seen J4Jet make a huge mistake in this game. We're going to watch this in cinematic style. Echelon's hitting it with bazookas from the front. M10 takes it down. I think we were kind of expecting that might happen, and here's the return after all of that. After all of that with the Lukes earlier, he's actually going to get himself a Panzer IV. Wow. I mean, it's kind of deserved, do you know what I mean? Kind of deserves that. These echelons are going to be trying to repair all this stuff really, really quickly. He's got to fling his riflemen up the field to defend this. And this is what Abandon does as a mechanic. It creates a focal point in the game that isn't the VPs anymore. You know, now instead of the VPs and the resources, the focal point is really not letting your opponent have this tech. But when we get the M10, the M20, and the Panzer IV in unison, Paula could actually make a move into the base and really not have that much contest. Oh, nice infiltration grenades. I think Paula's about to walk right into it. Not enough damage to finish the squad off on the retreat. And there we go, Panzer IV is... You don't see that very often. You don't see that model in that tank. Added to that, Paula can get another M10, which is really going to really cause issues if he does reach for that. No units around to Faust here means that JFajet should be looking to hit that retreat button. He isn't going to be able to hit with the Raketen and Faust the unit, and he's going to lose the Raketen for it. Suddenly everything is looking very, very bad for JFajet. He is going to be able to get his Command Panther out soon, so he should probably look at conserving his units, making use of the fact he is way ahead in VP control.
Down to 100 points. I say again, allies at 100 points.
And Paula's going to try and focus those VPs, try and get back everything that he can for the moment. Nice takedown of the M20. I think that was a mine. There it is. There is the Command Panther. That is the unit that...
The Americans have cut our supply line.
That is the unit he wanted to see, and this is the one that might be able to help him, because with marked target he may be able to get rid of these tanks quickly. Now we see him targeting the Panzer IV, but he's not going to pursue it because of the riflemen with the anti-tank grenades. These riflemen are really so effective at stopping Axis tanks from pushing in behind the enemy lines.
Rear echelon troops on the front line.
Question is, how is Paula going to deal with this? Looks like he's probably going to try and go for the Command Panther and then kind of turn around and go for that tier 4 structure. Panther of course has a little bit of a superior range here, so now that the Panzer IV has gone into sight, Command Panther is able to take some sneaky shots. Could we see that important Faust from the Volksgrenadiers? Not close enough. Command Panther's going through. He should push here. He should push because he does have mark target on as well. A penetrating shot here will kill that Panzer IV. And there it is, out of control. Game is now order restored very slightly. That was a very, very important thing to happen there for JFajet. Otherwise I think I'd be very, very worried about where this game was going. Command Panther versus 2 M10s is more manageable. And Paula has to focus on getting the right side VP back to its control. We're going to look at making a move with the M10s now. And I think he's going to ground attack through the hedgerows, so he is protected from the tier 4 shooting back. Which is a really sensible idea of him to do, actually. Tier 4 is down. Paula looks like he's going to go in for the crush. Actually gets a few models with it. There's only 2, not that many. Mark target goes on for the M10. Paula's going to have to retreat. That one is Fausted, which means Panther could have an opportunity to remove another tank from the game. Raketen hasn't set up and spotted this yet. Now it finally has. Should be able to get a shot off. Panther takes one, and that will be end of the M10. Really, really good play for JFajet. They're trying to deal with a very difficult situation after losing that Panzer IV. Is coming out on top. Paula looks like he's going to make another desperate push for this Command Panther. I think Paula may have thrown in the towel here. Volksgrenadiers Vet 5 being wasted on the right VP. JFajet hasn't realised and is going to lose that squad.
We've lost a squad of infantry.
Paula can still do this. I mean, JFajet has lost a couple of squads through these engagements. Doesn't have the tier 4 for protection anymore. And Paula really pulls his micro up. We don't have a chance of that kind of late game unit coming out from OKW again, because you can only bring out the Command Panther now without tier 4, or the King Tiger, which is a way off. So M10s versus Command Panther, if he's stacking M10s a couple more, he could have a really nice... opportunity to turn this game around again.
Time for action.
Not sure why we just saw that incendiary grenade thrown in that building. A bit late, units went out of there quite a while ago. So I think what we're going to see here is KotH try and defend the center VP and the left VP and try and wait it out for those resources. To get back in the building that he just burned. This is the thing with KotH though, he doesn't need to do anything here. He doesn't need to be too aggressive. He can wait for Paula to make that first move, which may ultimately lead into a mistake. That being said, you can see he's constantly fearing these riflemen that are pushing through the lines and having to retreat everything. It just shows that he is actually scared that Paula can still pull this off. Mark target goes in on the M10s as they try and peek again. And if Paula's intention is to waste KotH's resources by just constantly forcing him to use mark target for no reason, you will find that it's pretty useless as KotH stacks 320 manpower into the late portion of this game. Reketten does not penetrate its first shot. Bazookas are in on the echelons. Both players vying for control of the center VP, which is going to be absolutely influential in how this game goes. Paula looks like he has the advantage now. So here comes the big push. This is what we wanted to see. He is aiming for that Panther, but unfortunately blocks himself in by the Reketten. Trying to chase that down, but we see the Command Panther deflecting shots left, right, and center. Gets a sneaky shot off on that M10. This is the danger point though. Can he break through the hedgerow?
Allied AT gun has been destroyed.
Command Panther has to make a tough decision. Does it chase down the M10 or does he retreat, continuing retreat back into the base? Oh, this is such a tough spot. With 3 M10s, that Command Panther is not going to be so effective. You forget as well, Paula does have access to the Sherman Bulldozer, which would really start picking away at what's left of KotH's infantry. How has Paula managed to turn this around? I have no idea. He has lost out on nearly every opportunity in this game, but somehow he's still in this. So it's like I'm seeing GCS all over again. This ability outside the base is devastating. The spread of this is so far as well that we could see the shells land way outside of the hit markers. KotH has to be so careful about how he treats these units, because if he gets caught on a retreat path here and loses these squads, it's going to be the end of the game for sure. We're seeing Puma to come out. I think he's going to try and micro to help deal with those M10s.
An anti-tank battery is ready for deployment.
It's an interesting choice. The Reketten's a good idea as well. If he's going to bait with the Puma, bait those M10s, and then let the Rekettens do some work, then he might be able to turn this around a little bit. But he's fighting against veterancy, he's fighting against army size. He does not have the infantry to deal with what Paula has on the field right now. And this is just ferocious.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
KotH going to go for the ram, try and damage the structure of the building. See if he can get that squad out.
Line just got cut off.
I think he spots that the M10 is coming in there. Puma should spot it too and take a shot. Mark target with the help of the Reketten. Nice shot there. It's going to take down one of the M10s. Now this could be great if the Panther can go in and get another shot on this M10 and take it down, then he may be able to restore the lead. There it is, second M10 does go down. Now it looks like KotH has vehicle superiority on the field. All he needs to do now is start getting that manpower army back, so he can actually go back to capping. That was a very important play. Paula is going to go for the triple cap, which is going to mean 1 VP drain for every second. This time KotH will be suffering from that. He's still got plenty of times on his hands, but he does need to prioritize VPs right now. Taking 1 VP is going to give him a substantial amount of extra time in this game. And he really needs to have that extra time to keep building his army, keep things alive, and then keep just displaying the good micro he's put in this game. He's actually playing this really well. Still playing it very strategically, trying to bounce his opponent left to right. He's suffered a couple of misfortunate blows.
The capture point is being overrun.
Actually really interested about this ISG, which is currently in the base, and I think is dealing with the MGs. ISG, I mean, I guess now it's got, you know, does have access to the smoke barrage, which could be useful. But here we see Riketten moves out of stealth there. Not sure why he's gone for that. Maybe he's desperate to grab the VPs, but instantly realizes it's a bad idea. Hits the retreat button. Panther, now Vet 2 is out in the field. And of course, with the veterancy, it will have an aura buff, which will help the Puma as the game goes on. So veterancy on this unit could be game changing if you can build it up over time. Paula with 2 stolen Rikettens, dealing with J4Jets to try and remove any anti-armor presence that he has on the field. J4Jet isn't having any of this. He's going to go on the hunt. Wow, what a shot from the M10. Look at the range on that thing. Penetrating shots all around. Return from the Panther. He's just guzzling veterancy. This has been a really good game, actually. This has been a really good game. We've seen a couple of features from Company of Heroes that some people would say ruin games. Some people do genuinely, you know, go full on. The abandoned vehicle is a terrible mechanic. You know, it has been game changing here, but both players have squandered the opportunity with what they've been given.
Reconnaissance by flare now available.
Here we're seeing another M10 hit the field. This one isn't even repaired. But Paula doesn't care. I think Paula's mistake here, if he does make one, will be throwing all of these in as he has been. There will probably be an engagement where J4Jet will be able to make that push through, continue pursuing with the Command Panther and actually get these units down.
Damn Krauts just wasted some of our riflemen.
Just see Rifleman going down to building structure, which failed. That might be the ISGs that are doing it. Double ISGs here, which are just picking off at these MGs covering the center VP. So J4Jet, who has VP control at the moment, is playing a long game right now. He's not going to keep trying to make these push plays, try and flank around the MGs. No, his strategy, he's locked down the left-hand side. He's buying his time with the VP. And he is now trying to use indirect fire to clear the path for him. At this point, I would say it's starting to come down to a battle of wits, because Paula's made a lot of right choices, but he's also made a lot of mistakes in this game. And J4Jet, even on the back foot, I think is actually making some good tactical choices. If you can get these ISGs moved up and into position, so they are actually effectively countering the units that are spotted covering the center VP, then he's not doing too badly. Command Panther is going to see the M10s pushing onto this side. Do we see the Faust come out? Faust is going to be very, very important here. It's a little bit late though, and the Command Panther is not going to be able to pursue that. We have another M10 on the field, so Paula is going to be going for that swarm strategy where he rushes in. Yeah, these double ISGs is kind of sound in strategy, the idea is. He's losing a lot of time where Paula is just massing up these M10s. We don't have tier 4 in the field, so we're not going to be able to see any more of the medium tanks come out. Although he is stacking 230 fuels, so I wonder if we get to see the King Tiger. King Tiger, Command Panther, Puma would be pretty good, actually. He definitely has the VPs. to do that. Don't know what these Volksgrenadiers are doing, trying to run through the MG there in negative cover. Not 100% sure what the idea is there. J4Jet losing his VP on the left. M10s are not coming in to back it up. I think Paula is waiting on the wings for that moment where he can make his graceful entry into this scene. J4Jet is going to start putting VP pressure on his opponent. And this is a great idea because if your opponent is low on VPs and you're not, actually starting to spread out and take these VPs all at the same time is going to split Paula's army up, and this could be the point where he starts making mistakes. J4Jet has got to be readying himself for these engagements because this could be the defining moment of the game where he can be our first king to win more than one game. Here comes the push from Paula. This is the one we were looking for. Stun goes in from the Puma. Engine damage is there. Command Panther is using Blitzkrieg to try and get out of the engagement. It is not going to work though. Paula pushing in. It looks like he will get a penetrating shot on this Command Panther. It does go down. J4Jet is not able to call in the second one yet. Paula needs to be careful that he doesn't lose M10s to these base defenses though. We should see a Faust come out from these Volksgrenadiers. That should allow time for the base defenses to do their work. Paula blocking himself in. We really hope that these base defenses can start hitting the rear armor. See the one with the engine damage now blocking in the one that is okay. I don't think it's doing enough penetration. Paula will get away with all of those M10s. A great push. This is Paula calling in his own artillery there to try and defend them. And that's going to allow those M10s to gracefully get away. We just don't have the manpower for the Command Panther to come in. J4Jet still has time on his hands, but... oh, this is so unfortunate. He doesn't want to use the Faust on this one. He wants to use the Faust on this M10. He should be able to catch up with it. Command Panther has been replaced. Oh no, what are you doing? He hasn't got the munitions for it. He's on 20 munitions. He can't finish off that M10. Command Panther's going to be trying. Hopefully he doesn't get hit by an artillery shell as he's traveling. Oh wow. This is so unfortunate. And I think he's going to throw it as well. He needs to be so careful because if he gets counter pushed with this... oh, this is interesting. Is this trade worth it? Is this trade worth it? There are riflemen not too far behind, but he's going to continue putting the Command Panther at risk. He's also going to take a pretty bad retreat path if he goes down here. There's no riflemen down here to actually give the anti-tank damage. Let's have a look at the North VP. Sternpiners didn't manage to make a successful flank on the MG. Echelons, they look like they're making a block with the MG there. Getting some nice bazooka hits. Oh man, this is so unfortunate. J4Jet is not going to be able to replace this unit if he loses it. Oh, Raketten set up as well. This is incredibly low health Panther. He will lose this, no doubt about it. Echelons get the kill, bringing them. I would say bringing them an insane amount of veterancy, but it looks like they're already getting it on Vet 3. Man, this game has been exhausting to cast. Back and forth constantly, but a J4Jet, that was a throw. He could have waited. He had the resources to wait a little bit longer to rebuild, but he hasn't used it. He did decide to go for the push. It has played against him. I think we're going to see Paula become king. What absolute carnage. I can't see any way that J4Jet is going to be able to withstand this now. He's got to be able to withstand it by armor. It doesn't have the infantry on the field to deal with this. It might not be too long before he decides to throw in the towel. Good hits from the ISG though. Shame you couldn't remove the Vet 3 from that MG.
From our supply chain.
I'm wondering if Paula is just going to try and harass the base now. With 3 VPs, really you'd hope he would be careful and just nail everything down defensively before he progresses, but actually from the position he's in, I think he knows his opponent cannot fight back from this. He might even decide to steal some more MGs, lock down the base entrances. That would be the nail in the coffin. Personally, I would love to see the Bulldozer Sherman at this point. Very interesting. I am reading chat, by the way. A lot of you are talking about armor companies still being called in on the M10s, and to be honest, it is a very, I don't want to say easy to use, but the fact that you can call it in, and so many of them, and they're quite good, is a little overwhelming for Axis. But there we go, J4Jet does surrender. And Paula is our King of the Hill for this week.